What a grind. I'll go quickly through this game because it's so long. Now this was such a weird move, like I just hung the fork here, but somehow it just turns into a mess. So here, the point is that red really wants to take the knight, but then blue checks yellow and I check red. So we traded queens. We won a rook, but now his queen is hanging. Yeah, it would have been ideal to move the queen here, but I didn't see a square. I mean, queen. Yeah, because queen back, then all red has to do is cover the check. So like queen I6 does the job, and then we'll just lose the queen. So I had to trade. Yeah, traded queens. He took the rook back, and here we won a piece because otherwise he would win the knight. And in the end, we end up with like completely equal material. Yeah, here maybe this was a mistake. Maybe he should have just pushed the knight away. Not sure, because this king position looks awfully dangerous. Yeah, now we allow the rook to go. But now we're setting up double discoveries. So we made an escape square. Good defense. Now here we almost were able to perform a king capture with knight g6, knight g4 check, and bishop f5. The problem is that I'm before red, so he can run to the side. So he just picked up some material, and here I made a mistake. I should have played l5 when I protect his bishop, so we win an exchange, and then the game would have been much easier. I thought I was winning material, but it turns out I wasn't. Yeah, so take, and this is just problematic because my rook is out of play, and red has two rooks and yellow has a bishop coordinating, so we had to give up the knight. So yellow had to give up all the material just to stave off mate, and I'm sure they had a mating attack here. And here I positioned myself perfectly to attack both kings, and here we just got lucky, got a free rook. And I'm not sure about the decision to trade off my rook for his bishop, because the bishop was kind of empty, but the problem is that blue has no real moves. He can just go back and forth. So I think they can Sugswang him, and then I really have no good answer. So I think killing the bishop was maybe a good decision. Even though it looks like we're just down a lot of material, it's not that clear at all, because the pawns only queen on the 11th rank. So yellow has 3 pawns that can queen, red has 1. So if we clean up those pawns, then we are just winning. And since I can bring my knight and bishop to coordinate, then they have a hard time keeping their material, because we simply have more attackers. We have 3 attackers and they are just not in time, because, well, had he been able to connect his pawns, then we would have probably been lost. Still, it wouldn't have been clear, because I have the dark squared bishop and we have great dark square control. Now both red pawns can queen. I misspoke earlier. Yeah, and here I gave up the bishop for the rook. Probably they are still better here, but only if... Yeah, this was funny because this move from yellow actually loses, but he doesn't have a square, because then I just capture it. So in fact maybe it was already losing. Yeah, this move was losing. He had to move the rook. Yeah, but already I think we're doing good here. Now, I wasn't totally sure that I wanted to do this, because if I had kept my bishop, then we would have a great dark square blockade, and I could have forced red and yellow off the critical squares easily. Let's say check and king up. There, check. Yeah, I think we can just clean up their pawns. So this was a controversial decision. Even though I win the final rook and I have a knight, now it's much harder to play because blue is out of material and they have 2 kings that can force a 6-1. I think I was just in time to defend the pawn. I'm sure they had a winning plan here, but I just managed to defend the pawn. Like, I'm undefending the pawn when he defends the pawn, and that way we can keep all the material. And here he's just waiting for my king to get active, because I have to help stop this yellow pawn. And finally, this was probably a mistake. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. They should have just tried to queen this pawn. So maybe king g7 was better. But on the other hand, at this point it's not easy at all, because as soon as I can sack my knight for this pawn, then it's over. I mean, here, if he just moves away, and I played knight there, pawn up, knight back, and capture this pawn, then we still have this, my pawn is passed. The problem is that we somehow lost the blue pawn now, so I think... But had red stuck around, then we would still have the blue pawn, and then these pawns would have been frozen. So if the pawn moves, then he captures and the other one will be gone. And these pawns offset because they don't queen, so this is the only one pawn that can queen for yellow, whereas I have 4. And here, critically, I move the knight around. So now I'm just pushing my pawn. And here we just gave up the knight for the 2 pawns, and then the game is over. They just have 1 pawn that can queen, but it's not really a problem, because I have so many pawns. So we just keep going. Yeah, and here it's just mating with king b6, so they resigned. Thanks for watching.